Hi, I'm Phyllis Levitt, and I'm back to continue the message that I started last time, which was sharing with you my initial experience of having a divine voice begin to speak with me about what my soul was doing here in human form and what my purpose and meaning was in the experiences I was having as Phyllis. What my soul's meaning and purpose was, which was very different from what I thought my personality's meaning and purpose should have been, could have been, would have been, but wasn't. And one of the very first messages I received was to swim in the current that I'm in, meaning, and this is, I think, the heart of the beginning of an understanding of surrender. I'm in my life, in the experiences, in the relationships, in the work orientation with the children that I have, the friends that I have, and all the relationships that I've had, and along with the conditioning I had early in life from the family that I was born into. That is the current I'm swimming in. And one of the things that's really important to add to that is that the current that we're all swimming in now is the whole world situation, not just our own personal lives. And that's not an accident, according to the divine source that began speaking to me in 1994. That we all, as souls, asked for the part we're playing in the lives that we're living now. I asked for the life of Phyllis on a soul level. On a soul level, I agreed to the life of Phyllis, and I was asked by Spirit to take on exactly this life. And for me, especially when I was younger, that was a really hard message to absorb because my life was fairly painful. It was very painful growing up, and it was extremely difficult at the time that these divine messages began coming to me. And so to really take in and believe and absorb that I chose this and I was chosen for this and I was asked by God, soul, spirit, whatever you call it, to live this life was a very different way of being in the experiences that I was having. Because for the most part, and I think I'm not alone in this, I was believing up till that point that if I had been a better person, if I had been more worthy or more loved or more accomplished or more something, that I would have had a better life. And what I was receiving from Divine Source was that that was not true, that we all asked for and agreed the lives we have for a divine purpose, that this was the food we took on, the fuel source for the journey we were all here to make as souls, to manifest divine love and our soul's purpose in the form, through the vehicle that is us. So, in other words, what appeared to be pain or difficulty, or sometimes what I thought of as failure in myself, along with some of the things that were my gifts and strengths, and some of the things that I actually loved and cherished in my life, that all of it was the energy that I came here to transform into my divine soul's purpose. And those are big, fancy words for how do I be in, especially in the suffering that I felt at the time that this divine voice came to me and continue to have for many years afterwards in different forms. How do I be with that pain in a way that's truly accepting, not as resignation, but as the actual fuel source for my ascension? And I will get into a lot of the specific ways to apply what I just said as these messages continue. But the one that I wanted to share with you today is this. One of the very first things that I heard as this divine source was speaking to me was that my only choice was to swim with the current I was in. That we actually can't swim in a different current. We can't be a different person. We can't have had a different past. We can't have different surroundings and relationships other than the ones that we're in right now to work with. They may change over time, but our choice right now is to swim with the current we are in. And that's really the beginning of a deep level of acceptance that I had never understood before. because I was so critical of myself that I really felt, as I said, that if I had been a better person, I would be swimming in a different current. Instead of, this is the journey my soul chose to take on. And it's a hero's journey or a heroine's journey if we can see it that way. So that's the message I wanted to share with you today, to think about what would it be to know that your only choice, our only choice, is to swim in the current that we're in. And what would swimming with it mean? It doesn't mean resignation. It doesn't mean I'm just carried along with no choice or no goal or no guide along the way. What does it actually mean to say yes to the current that I'm in? And as I continue to share these messages with you, I'm going to go into great detail about what that means. But that's the first thing to think about. And for me, it was a life-changing message, and I still come back to that today. So thank you for being here with me today, and I hope you'll tune in for the next segment of this journey with me. Thank you so much.